I've been thinking about how Mion's whole shtick could be really sad in interpretation.
Yeah?
If she's going around calling herself Uncle Mion, is she the one that's used to taking care of all these kids?
I wonder.
Yeah. It's one of it's one of those things. I was talking about playing this game with a friend of mine who's already finished it, and they were like, yeah, it really makes you remember that Ryukishio 7 was a social worker, huh? I'm like, yeah, when you look at it through that lens, yeah, it's really kind of fucking apparent, isn't it? Oh, no. As soon as the club activities were finished, Reina flew off. Probably so she could dig out that key U to Colonel Sanders that she wasn't able to take home yesterday. So today it was just Mion and me walking home together, a rather rare occurrence.
A mountain of treasure, huh? The guys throwing it away probably never thought in their wildest dreams that Reina would be grateful to them.
Mountain of treasure, meaning that dam construction site from before. Oh right, Mion would probably tell me. That murder by dismemberment that seemed to have happened there. Right, and we feel like we mentioned this in passing the other time, but like, Reina's reaction to that still seems very...
sus?
Yeah, but sus in a way that's very on the nose? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, and I couldn't have even lived here by the... What do you mean you just moved here? Do I believe that? I don't... Over there, at that damn construction site. That goddamn fucking construction site. No, for that one? Okay. Did something happen there? Long ago.
Something sure did. A grand battle. There were sit-ins and demonstrations.
It was a bit different from what I wanted to hear, but I decided I'd listen just the same. Oh, so there was like a whole movement leading up to it as well.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
It was our land that was going to be sunk into the dam reservoir. I would have fought as well, probably. Oh.
Ooh.
Wait. Was that Keiichi that said that?
I don't think so. I think this is still Mion.
The government guys were really adamant about it, acting all big and full of themselves. Since they figured out that they couldn't settle it with money, they did a bunch of nasty stuff. They were nasty guys.
Mion spoke excitedly, as if the whole thing was happening right in front of her. Ugh, I'm amazed you guys won. You were facing the federal government, right?
The mayor and prominent figures in the village all signed petitions. They went to Tokyo and struck deals with legislators. And as a result, the development plan was retracted. It was our complete victory. Ha 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 ha.
So I'm beginning to see where this whole uncompromising victory at all costs mentality might have been fostered in them.
Maybe.
Because if it's a matter of literally, oh, this is the land I live on, I can see that fostering a pretty intense attitude. There wasn't any violence, was there? Like assaults or moitas?
None.
She promptly cut me off.
Definitely none.
Stares right at the camera. None! Haha, none! The same as Reina had. Her words signaled the end of the discussion. Tomatake-san had said one arm wasn't found in the incident. I thought that a murder by dismemberment had occurred, but I guess I was wrong. One arm wasn't found in the incident. We saw newspaper articles about the thing.
Yeah.
One arm wasn't found. Is there a different way to interpret one arm wasn't found?
I don't know.
Am I supposed to be being like, oh wait, hold on, there's a different way to interpret? You know what? No. It's episode 3. Just let stuff happen for a bit before I start getting out of control here.
To be fair, they're just kids. Maybe they don't know about murders and shit that happened a couple years ago.
If they don't know about them, they certainly had been coached in what to say about them.
Huh?
Yeah, like I don't believe that for a second. This definitely feels like one of those closely guarded small-town secrets that we were talking about. My curiosity unsated, I sighed dejectedly inside. This is the 80s, so you're not going to really have, like, internet access that's at, like, your local library or something. This isn't... the library would have back copies of newspapers, though.
Yeah.
If Keiichi got into the city, he could easily, like, research some of this.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Later, see you tomorrow. Kei-chan, you can't wash that off until you get home, got it?
I got it. I won't. Mion held back her laughter while stealing glances at my face. Wonder what kind of nasty doodles they drew. Oh, that's right, we lost that victory, huh? Damn you, Mion. You shall rue this day. If our roles are ever reversed, I'm going to slop it on. All over your face. You won't be able to take it off, even with a scouring pad. Scouring? Scourging pad? Upon arriving home, I ran straight into my mom, embarrassing myself yet again. Ugh, hi, Mom.
That's Lovecraftian. I didn't know it was possible to draw that many dicks on a face.
Dicks that look like every Tetris piece at once. The mood I'd come home to was already on edge. It's not an uncommon thing in our family. Whenever Dad can't come up with a good idea, it always ends up like this. Oh, okay. He stomps around the house with his arms crossed. Is that all he does? Mom whispered into my ear.
Welcome home, Keiichi. Dad, he's in a bit of a rut right now, so don't bother him, okay?
Oh, he can't come up with a new idea, huh?
It's because the deadlines are so close together this time. Your dad needs time to recharge, or he doesn't work as well.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. From reading about, like, when I was really young, I wanted to be a cartoonist, like a daily comic strip cartoonist when I got older. So I wound up reading about a bunch of them, and, like, listening and reading and stuff about, like, some of the cartoonists I admired. It's really a separate skill, being able to make yourself create things on a deadline on a recurring basis.
Yep.
Like, that itself is a completely separate skill that must be nurtured in addition to the artistic ability that lets you create the things that you want to in the first place.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's why it's so easy once you get to that level of popularity to kind of just, like, almost get to the point where you're phoning things in. And, like, it becomes more of a corporate operation. And it's the difference between, like, Garfield and Calvin and Hobbes. I remember still reading, like, there was some stuff about Bill Watterson going around co-host the other day and his relationship to work and how the constant pressures around him as a successful artist to continue doing stuff like that in order to make money. It's just been on my mind recently is all.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, I'm definitely off on a tangent now. Dad's paintings feed our entire family. If he runs out of ideas, it's the end of the Maebaras. Oh, okay. So that changes the dynamic. I had talked of the other time, right?
Yeah. You were wondering about that last time. Now we got an answer.
Yeah. Okay. So they do rely on his paycheck. Okay. So his paintings feed the entire. Okay. His paintings feed the entire family. He's got a studio, so it sounds like he's a fine artist. Like he does canvas paintings, probably.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like it's the 80s. Is he like a magazine illustrator or something like that?
Maybe.
Like that's another way you'd get money in that business. Especially if he's working on deadlines.
Yeah, it sounds like he's earning enough for them to get by, but he's not earning enough to be like making $1 million in a fine art sale and then they just coast and do whatever. He's still bound to the deadlines of whoever he's
Although
it
sounds like he's firmly in the biz, though.
Yep.
So that's a. It sounds like he's enough in the biz where he's getting consistent contracts and getting food on the table.
Yep.
But probably running up against that thing where he's wanting to do more of the artwork that brings him fulfillment, right? This is just cold reading based on like 2 sentences here, but we'll see. We've never gone hungry before. Could it be that my dad is a master painter? Ugh, wouldn't it be easier to get an idea taking a walk outside rather than wandering around the house?
The theme of the piece this time is in the household, so it seems your dad wants to use this house as a motif.
Huh, that's quite a bothersome motif. Yeah, that definitely sounds like an illustration gig.
Yeah.
Right, that sounds like that's going in like maybe like a prestige mag, right? But still probably going to be in a magazine. It's kind of like, you get there's a lot of prestige in being hired to do like the New York Times, the New Yorker cover.
Yeah.
Right, stuff like that.
Do you think this is Dad talking now?
It's probably Dad. Keiichi, pick up your room. It looks terrible. Sorry, I'll clean it up later. Oh, come on, please don't use my room as the motif.
Keiichi, there's still some time before dinner, so please go take a walk out back or something.
His bad mood is only temporary. As soon as he gets an idea, his mood improves and he starts humming. Until then, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just go take a walk so I don't aggravate him further. Well, I guess I will then. After I wash my oil paint off, right? Right? All of these dicks.
They
didn't actually paint anything on him?
That or tether cat principle, it never mentioned him washing it off, so he's got those on his face for the entire rest of the arc.
Oh, did you just tether cat? Yeah, you did. Hey, as long as we're talking about famous cartoonists, right?
I don't know what tether cat principles are reference to, even though I know what it means.
The name comes from a Far Side comic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, tether cat. It's why, like, Larson speculated that's why people were so upset about it, because, like, they would go away and they would still be playing tetherball with the cat.
I see.
I said I was going to take a walk, but I didn't have any particular destination in mind. I just needed to kill some time. I got on my bike and pondered where to go. Well, if I know anything about this situation, you have to bike around 3 times before you're able to find the local beach. And then you can invite some of your confidants to go there with you. I could just go read at the bookstore, but it would take about an hour by bike to get into town. Oh, okay, so it's like an hour by bike to get to the town. Okay.
That could be worse.
Yeah, like an hour by bike when I'm a teenager to get yeah, absolutely I would do that, right? Like on a summer day, needed something to do. Yeah, absolutely. That's closer than I thought. Keiichi, if that's how far town is, Keiichi, if he wanted, really could just go to town, find a library with back issues of the newspaper, and start researching this.
Yep.
It would be dark by the time I got back, so I didn't want to unless I had to. The roads at night here in Hinamizawa creep me out. If Miyono Sadako ever found out about that, I smiled wryly. Oh yeah, because there's probably like rural back roads. There's not going to be like just lighting everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an hour away by bike, but it doesn't mean you can go there any time of day or any time of year.
An hour away by bike means you're probably leaving in the morning or early afternoon at the latest, and and as soon as that, you want to be home before that sun starts moving.
And only in summer, not if it's not.
Yeah, absolutely. This is not a winter or even like a late fall thing you're gonna do. Rena was probably still at the Mountain Treasure, the damn construction site. That goddamn construction site. The excavation of Colonel Sanders was probably taking her a while. Wouldn't be so bad to have her owe me one, huh? She might return the favor next time we have club activities. With a little bit of self-interest in mind, I set off toward the damn fucking construction site.
He's still harboring this notion that maybe having someone owe something to him might cause them to go easy on him in a game after he's played one round of Old Bachelor and seen how it goes. How could he not have been disabused of that notion instantly?
I remember afterwards I was like, wait, I misremembered the name of the game as Old Bastard, and I thought that was really funny. Talking about your old man there, kid? Tomataki-san might be there as well, the only person with information about the incident that both Reina and Mion denied knowing anything about. If I met him again, I'd like to ask for more details. To ask, was there really a dismemberment here in Hinamizawa? That was my real intention. They never found an arm. I mean, I guess an interpretation... it's translated, so you don't know how much you can rely on double meanings of words specifically, but like arm of a crane. Maybe some construction equipment got fucked up and they never found part of it.
I mean, it was in response to Keiichi saying maybe she's hunting for the body.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't say human body. I mean, I guess what really gets me here is that there's this clear friction between there is reporting on this event.
Yep.
If nothing else, there is general outside consensus from a reputable source that this event happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's not... It's not... That's... I guess that isn't like as much proof as seeing it happen, but, you know, like, you don't take that lightly. I spotted Reina struggling up on the slope of a garbage pile. It looked like Colonel Sanders was lodged in there pretty firmly. Didn't look like Reina would be able to excavate him by herself. Realizing that Tomatake-san wasn't around, I began climbing up the slope unsteadily. Hey, Reina, looks like you're working up a sweat, huh?
Whoa, Keiichi-kun.
Oh, there's also something else that you found out that you wanted to share about Reina's verbal tick.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had questions about this.
Yeah.
Or like, rather, I had questions about it and what it was meant to imply about her character.
And I was like, I don't remember her repeating things in the anime. And then,
Right.
So I looked up the tick and was like, oh, in the original Japanese, it's ending the sentences with kana, like, I wonder. Which she does. It does get translated as sometimes here. Her saying, I wonder, but...
I wonder. Yeah. But it's a much different verbal tick than what it gets translated as sometimes.
Because the way it's translated, it looks like, is it echolalia or whatever?
Yeah,
like,
or some, I don't know what the word for it is, but she's repeating certain phrases.
And it's not that in the original
right.
Japanese. So
that said, I don't know what that verbal tick is meant to imply.
Yeah.
I know, like, some works I'm familiar with have characters that you have, like, little affectations appended to the end of their sentences, but I'm not, because I don't intimately understand what that is meant to imply about their characters, so I don't know what I'm meant to be assuming about Reina from that, but it's good to know that it's not what I thought it was, at least, and so, you know, building a picture, painting a Lego.
I think I have one other vocal tick correction. I think I said last episode that Sadako speaks archaic Japanese.
You did.
But I think that what it actually is overly formal.
Rather not
than archaic.
Okay, that's
I am
different.
not a Japanese expert. I do not speak a lick of Japanese.
It's
so
okay. I'm sure the comments
going off what I hear from people on the internet.
I'm sure that the comment section was absolutely livid with you.
Yeah, almost assuredly.
Just so you know, we record like a bunch of these in advance, so like,
yeah,
we're not gonna start responding to your comments until like, I don't know, whatever episode it'll be by that time. But
yep.
Still. Anyway, go for it.
What brings you to a place like this?
A place like this, huh? I see. She was aware of it, at least. I received a signal for emergency assistance at the accident site. Where's the injured party?
Huh? Accident? Huh?
But there was a report that Colonel Sanders was buried alive in the trash pile.
Huh? Oh, that. You scared me.
So there was an accident.
Don't frighten me like that, Keiichi-kun.
I won't frighten you like that. I was just kidding. I thought you might be struggling by yourself, so I came to help you out.
Eh? You came for me? Ah.
Well, I filled my quota for the day. If I don't see Reina blush at least once per day, then I'm not getting my daily required nutritional intake. Oh, just kidding. You are embarrassing me now.
So, huh? What part was the joke? What part was it?
I just ignored her bewilderment. All right, now, move out of the way. Where's this Colonel Sanders?
Sorry. Can't you see him in that gap?
Wow, he's really buried in there. The Colonel Sanders was sideways, surrounded by boards and other construction materials, like they were caging him inside. According to Reina, it wasn't like this yesterday. It seems as though another illegal dumper came in yesterday, dumped again, and now he's buried like this. You're trying to move this pile all by yourself? With those scrawny arms? There's no way she would be able to do that with her slender arms.
But Colonel Sanders, so cute. There's a chain on the Colonel Sanders at the store. This one, though, I should be able to take this one home.
What, you checked?
Did I stutter?
If Reina gave up on this Colonel Sanders, she'll probably start devising a plan to steal the one in front of the store. Oh, so there is a KFC.
Maybe in Okinomiya City or something.
Oh, in Okinomiya City. Okay, got it. As Reina's guardian, I won't allow her to sully her hands with crime. Self-appointed guardian, got it. Out of the way, I'll do it. Reina blushed again, but this time I left it alone. The pile was enormous. Also, the more days we wasted, the more likely another illegal dumping would occur. If I get buried any deeper, there would be nothing that could be done.
Keiichi-kun, I'll help too. Let me help.
You just get in the way, so stay back. pulling out scraps, bending them, tossing them aside. I quickly became covered in sweat and dust. Also, like, you don't want to be in a garbage dump with a skirt on. Like, no, really.
Yeah.
Like, you want, like, jeans or pants or something.
You are going to get all
anything
you're going to get
swishy
leg
is just
injuries.
going to get caught on something, and your legs are going to be. Yeah, it's just not desirable. Also, ideally, you'd have like thick gloves. Like for kids at home, if you're thinking about playing around in a garbage dump, gardener's gloves are a good, cheap thing you can grab that are going to protect your hands across like most of the crap you find. Just obviously don't go touching needles or anything, and it's still not going to be like perfect. You know, use your common sense when you're playing in a trash pile.
Yeah. Don't want to get tetanus while you're busy acquiring dumpster treasures.
Exactly.
You want to know something very funny about me and dumpster diving?
I absolutely do.
You want to know who taught me to dumpster dive?
Who?
At construction sites?
Who?
My father when I was in grade school.
Oh,
of all things.
Of all,
and not as a matter of scrounging for food or being short on money or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
He was very insistent that he would have a nice brick patio as a proper Texas home ought to have, in his opinion.
Okay.
And he was also adamant that he would DIY it and like learn all the building stuff, but also did not want to pay for the bricks to get, despite the fact that he could absolutely afford it. So we spent a number of weekends at construction sites where they had been tearing down like some nice red brick buildings that were like getting replaced by something new, and just like, okay, I'm going to toss you into the dumpster and like find all the bricks that aren't broken and pass them over. And if you get tired, we'll swap. And it's just like, okay, Dad, yeah, this is a normal thing.
This is normal for two people to do.
And
you know what?
He got a patio out of the deal. Out of free bricks and a lot of extra labor involved.
Yep. I bite my tongue on most things in concern to this situation, but you know what? I gotta admire the principled stance of, I want a patio and I refuse to pay for it, but I'm still gonna do it myself. So
it's like, yeah, they're throwing away all these old ass bricks. I guess that's fine.
I mean, in principle, I can't argue with it because, like, yeah, they're throwing away stuff that could easily be used for other things. Like, yeah, that's.
And maybe the bricks are no longer good for a load-bearing wall structure or something, but like a patio on the ground?
A patio on like the flat-ass Texas ground, right? Like, what else? Yeah. Last time I was in a refuse bin was frequently at work when we were trying to cram more cardboard into the recycling bin.
Good times. They gave us a compactor, so I didn't have to get in.
My first job at a supermarket had a compactor, and we'd like just put stuff on pallets and have it taken away. The other job, at my job after that, we didn't, so I had to like get in the recycling bin, stomp it all down, and like make sure when we were tearing down cardboard that it was as space efficient as possible. Because shit sucks. Anyway, recycle.
Now that we've spent half an hour talking about standing around in trash, which is apparently a favorite pastime or skill of ours.
Hey! I mean, we all know that if you were a furry, you'd be an opossum.
Shots fired, and also you're not wrong.
So is it really shots fired if I'm just calling it like I see it? Flying objects drew beautiful arcs across the twilight sky, one after another. Lumber, timber, plywood, those are mostly synonyms. Damn it! No matter how much I threw out, there was still more, even though I could see Colonel Sanders right there. After grandstanding like that in front of Raina, I felt frantic because of how little I had progressed. Ugh, if I was going to do this seriously, I would need an axe or a saw or something.
That's enough, Keiichi-kun. You're so sweaty. You don't have to try so hard.
You don't know where I could get an axe or a saw or something for if I wanted to chop things into small pieces?
No.
Okay.
Why would I know that?
I don't know. I was just asking. You live around here. There wasn't any ulterior motive to it. Why are you acting like there is, huh? Huh? I'm just doing it for you, Raina. Don't worry about it. Reina began sputtering and turned beet red. Whoops, I meant to say I was trying my best to keep her from becoming a criminal. Oh well. I guess I just need a break. This is pretty tough. I sprawled on my back over the grassy slope.
I'm so sorry. You're covered in sweat.
Reina patted her handkerchief against my forehead. It felt pretty nice.
Well, wait here a minute, okay? My house is pretty close. I'll bring you some barley tea, okay?
Leaving the handkerchief on my forehead, Reina took off running.
Fuck, that's what I forgot to do. I bought all that barley tea and I never
Right.
put any in.
And we were talking about how you were going to make some iced barley tea. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be so refreshing. I need
God.
to remind me to do that once we finish recording.
Right, because that'll be a great thing to pull out for EP4.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have barley tea instead of me having, what is this, decaf coffee with whiskey in it? It's a little bit more whiskey than I intended, if I'm honest.
Drink of champions.
Decaf coffee with You sure? That sounds like, to me, that sounds more like the drink of compromises were made. The cries of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. After I was certain that Reina was gone, I had picked myself up and headed towards what I'd discovered earlier. It was a garbage pile of magazines and newspapers bound up in twine. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe it was around here. There it was. There were bound stacks of not-so-reputable tabloids. They were stacked chronologically, going back quite a few... Why do I even bother? Why? It was quite a disturbing incident. It seems like they haven't been able to find one of the arms, you see. It's just that if it was just as Tomataki-san had said, then there undoubtedly would be mention of the murder. These are troubled times. There is no end to these sickening incidents. There's a large part of society drawn in by these incidents as well. What the fuck are you talking about? What the hell is this narration all of a sudden?
People being
So it had to be
sickly
recorded.
fascinated with murders, and the more gruesome, the more coverage there would be in tabloids. And so
Right.
on.
It's just that, like, this so far the narration has been pretty consistent with, like, Keiichi's train of thought.
Yeah, and now it's a bit of a different tone.
Yeah, sorry. It was more the tonal shift, not an objection to... not an objection to what it was saying, because, yeah, I get it. Like, true crime podcasts, sirs. We all know it. But it was just, like, the shift in, like, what the narration was. Anyway.
I need to start a fake crime podcast.
And Umineko Let's Play, we did that. So it had to be recorded somewhere. I unfastened the packages and opened the rain-soaked pages carefully, looking over the table of contents. Not here. Next one. Not here. Next one. It was hard to search inside since I didn't know when it happened. Didn't know who the perpetrator or the victim was either. I only knew that it happened here. I looked up every so often, checking to see if Reina had come back or not. I wouldn't want her to see me gawking at a dirty magazine, but it wasn't just that. Both Reina and Mion said that they didn't know. But it had happened, without a doubt. As long as Tomatake-san wasn't lying. Then if both Reina and Mion... Yeah, there was... Oh, if they had just said that, then I wouldn't have gotten so hung up about it. An incident that neither Reina nor Mion wished to talk about, trying to uncover it after they tried to conceal it out of good intentions. That made me feel like I was acting against my friends. Wait, aren't you doing exactly what you accuse those people of? And like, right?
Yeah?
Like, if
Maybe.
they don't want to talk about it, then just let it be, dude. Unless we don't know much about Keiichi's backstory, maybe he's got a finger in this pie that we don't know of yet.
Yeah. We don't know much about anybody's backstory yet.
No, that's why I've been going to pains to, like, whenever we learn something, make
Yeah.
sure to repeat it, because, like, I'm trying to build a fuller picture of these characters. Hinamizawa dam worker lynching, murder by dismemberment. Here it is. Is this the one that we were reading in the tip section?
Might be.
Was that the same headline? The featured article was in the back, and it seemed that there was a photograph in the color pages at the front. The pages of the featured article were stuck together and weren't easy to open. Reina could return at any moment. Feeling rushed, I gave up and opened the photograph page. The police investigators were carrying a body bag, and newspaper reporters were all bathing it in camera flashes. The image was blurry and hard to understand, but I could definitely make out the headlines. A tragic nightmare at the Hinamizawa construction site. Lynching and murder/dismemberment. Victim was the site foreman. He had assaulted his assailants daily with an explosive backlash from his daily actions. It's a horrible image to see the site foreman as it happened. It really did happen. Seemed like the details were on the next page. I turned the page without pausing, and on it was... The assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes, then used an axe to split the cadaver into 6 pieces. The head, arms, leg, and torso. I was about to make a shitty comment about how, that's 4, but I could understand just from the headline that it was just too terrible an incident. Normally, a lynching is just assault and murder, right? Dismemberment with hatchets and pickaxes. That wasn't a lynching. It was a merciless killing to the letter. A brutal murder done by a group of people with hatchets, with pickaxes, with an axe. Ah!
Sorry. Did I startle you? Did I startle you?
You went all the way home to change? You think if you were going to change, you'd get into something better suited for scrabbling around in trash. Raina dropped the axe she was holding on to. Oh, she was holding onto the grass. I got garden path there, sorry. Raina dropped the axe she was holding onto the grass after being startled by my voice.
Keiichi-kun, you see, earlier, yeah? You said it would help if you had an axe, didn't you?
She went home to change? I guess it's no longer school, but still.
So then I brought an axe for you from the shed.
Raina fluttered her arms in a panic, continuing to explain and apologize. It seemed I'd been glaring at her pretty intensely. Ugh. I'm sorry. I guess my reaction was just a bit overboard is all.
No, I'm sorry as well. I'm sorry.
See, it knows what it's building up to here, which makes me feel like it can't just be that, right? And again, we talked about irony poisoning and what level of remove we're supposed to have from the plot here.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is now over 20 years old, and the literacy and familiarity with these tropes and how one approaches them would be different in a different time. Not to say worse, just different, right? But holy shit, they're laying it on thick. Night was drawing close. I was pretty worn out, and it wouldn't hurt to do the rest tomorrow. Ugh. Doesn't look like we can break that last beam without an axe. You brought it after all? I'll have to borrow it tomorrow, all right?
Okay.
Why do you look so glum? Tomorrow we'll be digging out Colonel Sanders, right?
You're right. I really want to take Colonel Sanders home soon.
Oh, goodbye. We both knew that it was useless. Oh, it's all useless to apologize any more than that. I quenched my thirst with the barley tea Raina brought and wiped off the sweat that had now gone cold. We both took the path to head home. I felt quite guilty about the tabloid wrapped up in my jacket. Ha ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Ha! Sorry, I'm done now. New tips. The Hinamizawa Dam Project. Special tabloid report. Oh, this is probably the tabloid then. Okay. Let's drop a save. We'll drop a save after we view tips. I don't know if it tracks it or not, but let's view all tips.
Tips time.
Okay, it's all on the same page here. Yeah, because this was...
The newspaper edition.
The newspaper edition. The special tabloid report. Okay, so it's probably worth looking at the differences in how they were covered, because a newspaper generally has a bit more repute than a tabloid. Let's look at the Hinamizawa Dam Project first. October 1975. In accordance with the Prime Minister's Bulletin Number Redacted, Hinamizawa's Electrical Development Master Plan was announced. The vast scope of the projected Hinamizawa Dam will have an incredibly heavy impact on the village of Hinamizawa. The flooded area caused by the Hinamizawa Dam would include the 5 areas of Hinamizawa, Takatsuro, Kyotsu, Matsumoto, and Yaguchi. The submerged area includes 291 houses. Population, 1,251. So what are we looking at, like 3-4 people per house?
Yep.
1 elementary school, 1 middle school, 1 post office, 1 agricultural cooperative, 1 forestry department lumberyard, 5 shrines, 2 temples, and 1 fishery. All of these communal, cultural, agricultural areas and places of worship will be indefinitely submerged at the bottom of the artificial lake basin. Forsaking the hundreds of years our ancestors poured their blood and sweat into this fertile, resource-rich land is just too painful to bear. All the residents having homes that were to be submerged banded together and created the Onagafuchi Defense Alliance. The dam project was halted, and petitions to alter the plan were circulated. The citizens sought peaceful negotiations, but the government and its puppet company, name redacted, openly refused. Performing unspeakable, heinous acts, they quashed the democratic actions of the villagers. Oh, so they brought in, like this harkens back to, like this is a familiar story in American history.
Brought in the Pinkertons.
Yeah, like they brought in the Pinkertons, right? Right. This is something that had, like, yeah. But the villagers did not falter. Instead, they banded together even more closely and steeled their resolve to protect their homes to the death. The continuation of that frightening Hinamizawa Dam construction project is still stalled as of today. The villagers understand that the stalling was caused by the sublime power through unity, and they understand that this fearsome plan has not yet been fully withdrawn. The Onagafuchi Defense Alliance had been dissolved after it did its part, but the feelings of unity it garnered have not yet been extinguished. As long as that passion resides in the hearts of the residents, they'll be able to confront whomever next decides to sink their homes into a lake basin. Onagafuchi Defense Alliance Committee Chairman, Kiichiro Kimiyoshi. Now, here's the thing, because like that's about what I expected the shape of it to be.
Mm-hmm.
What doesn't make sense is the reaction. Is like what they're setting it up to be like. Oh, we got to keep outsiders from digging into it.
Yeah,
right? Because in this, on the face of it, like if we take Keiichi's kind of if we take the things happening around Keiichi at face value, it seems like there's a very strong reaction to him poking his nose in that history, and perhaps even implied retaliation against him.
Yep.
Again, just looking at the surface of it. But he has a home there. His family live there. They have a vested interest in helping to defend that place now. Why would that be the reaction to that?
Yep. Why indeed?
Yeah. Which makes me think either we misunderstand what the nature of that is, or it's just all a red herring, and it's just meant to be funny, or there's something about Keiichi's family specifically being there that is not said to us that is kind of altering that dynamic.
And also, on the flip side, they don't want people digging into it, but they seem pretty proud about fighting off the dam.
Exactly.
They talk about it a lot and bring it up openly. So then, what is it that folks oughtn't dig into?
Right. I'm wondering if at the same time there happened to be a separate, like, lynching, or not a lynching, like someone that was murdered, and they used the convenient excuse of the lynching of the chairman to cover it up. And anyone looking into it now is going to inevitably discover that the two were linked. Might be a reason why Tomatake-san is poking his nose around. It might be a reason why a journalist is still there to poke around things.
Yeah?
Because at least on the surface of it, it seems pretty open and shut.
It does. If there were some other disappearance that were somehow linked to this, that would be a reason, wouldn't it?
Exactly. But we don't have anything like that yet. But I assume people want to hear my thoughts as we go through this. That's why you're here and not on any other Let's Play of this, right? Special tabloid report. Nightmare befalls the Hinamizawa Dam. Fuck. Sorry. Every time it's going to happen. Lynching and murder / dismemberment. In X month of X day in XX prefecture at the Hinamizawa Dam construction worksite in Shishibone City, a bone-chillingly gruesome murder/dismemberment. Even though this case has shocked the archipelago, the police will give no details on the case. Exactly what happened at the Hinamizawa Dam? Well, they probably didn't mean to kill him at first, but as the victim resisted by swinging around a shovel, the rest of the perpetrators armed themselves in return and it quickly escalated to homicide. So said the aforementioned investigator A. After this bloody tragedy was over, they were left with a body which nobody thought was alive. Why do they keep phrasing it that way? XX-san had tormented the suspects daily with his rough behavior. At first it was meant to be payback. All the perpetrators were horrified by their deed, and even one turned himself in to the police. It was the de facto leader of this group, name redacted, who suggested hiding the body. Reluctantly at first, they soon began to think they did not wish to be caught. The construction site had numerous places to hide the body with 6 people. They were originally supposed to hide the body and leave the area. But the de facto leader feared that the consciences of the other 5 wouldn't be able to bear the burden, and came up with a horrifying method to keep them from turning him in to the police. He devised the heinous method of splitting up the body among them and making each of them responsible for hiding a piece. Say that like exactly. Name redacted had turned a simple manslaughter into a gruesome dismemberment and forcibly involved each perpetrator in order to create a sense of unity between them. Yeah, that's how that goes.
That word unity keeps coming up, huh?
It really does. And here's the thing. There was no unity among the people who were hiding the body. There's a lot of unity among the people still there afterwards. But among the people hiding the body, one of them rolled that same night.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what unity? Were they, like, coerced into it? It feels like there's another layer to this. Each one participated, but what does this mean? Person A spoke out reluctantly. Yeah, name redacted had ordered each and every one of them to dissect a piece for themselves. They were hesitant at first, but no one refused. In for a penny, in for a pound was what it meant. Thus, an unimaginable bloody ceremony began. Oh, the perpetrators wept and vomited as they performed the gruesome task. There was one person who stubbornly refused, but name redacted threatened them, saying nothing would change if someone else ended up dead. And he gave up his objections. See?
There we go.
See? Literally, nothing would change if someone else ended up... Right, so use a murder to cover up a different murder. But Name Redacted's plan collapsed in the span of one night. Name Redacted, who had refused to dissect the corpse up until the last moment, had broken down into tears at the hospital where he was being treated for an injury sustained during the scuffle, and confessed. The criminals were arrested one after the other, but the de facto leader's name's whereabouts are still unknown. Also, the right arm hidden by Name Redacted has yet to be found. Despite an ongoing search, this horrible individual has so far managed to elude law enforcement. Am I to take this to mean that they know the name, but they're redacting it, in the framing device?
Yep.
Right. Okay. Got it. Despite an ongoing search, this horrible individual has so far managed to elude law enforcement. What could police be doing? Yeah, it appears that Name Redacted said he was going to throw the body right into the marsh. His car was discovered abandoned near the marsh, but there were no clues to his whereabouts. Name Redacted didn't trust his companions. One cannot deny the possibility that he had expected his companions to confess to the police and used his car as a decoy. Yeah, of course I doubt that theory. Since he has no car, one would expect him to have a limited area to which he could have escaped to. But within the station, there were rumors going around he had accidentally slipped and drowned in the marsh when he went to throw away the body. To the locals, that marsh is believed to be bottomless. It's known as Onagafuchi, the Ogre's Abyss. And it is said that the bottom of the marsh is connected to the hellish world of demons, where one might be spirited away to, perchance. The atrocious demon from hell that was Name Redacted. Could it be that he returned to hell through the marsh? The Zijin Dragon, bringer of luck and fortune, prosperous future, ladies leaping into your arms, business success, promotions, ambition, protection from harm. Not just with the pachinko and horse races, but businesses and even love. Guaranteed or your money back. Zijin Dragon Bracelet Deluxe, one piece. 27,800 yen.
Gotta get the true tabloid experience.
Oh God, I love the tone of this so far.
Yeah.
I like, if nothing else, like the way that this is like, it's a great balance between the comic and the tragic.
Yeah. And that is what made me love Ryukishi's work to begin with. The fact that it's like, oh, we don't just go into full horror and mystery from minute one. It's like, oh, we've got this tropey, fun, character-driven stuff that makes you care about the characters, and then weird shit happens. And then more fun, character-driven stuff happens, and then weird shit happens. And it just it keeps you on your toes. It feels fresh.
It feels like there's a lot of thought put into the shape of the world and the characters that inhabit it.
Yeah.
Which allows it to kind of let this slow burn truly be successful.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway.
Umineko does it even better, but...
I mean, it's also like their second
encountered
stab at it, right?
Yeah.
So, like... And also, I feel like Umineko is fundamentally different in what it's trying to do. Because Umineko is also, on some level, a meditation on the act of writing itself, right? And how we tell stories. And unless I'm completely off base, I don't think Higurashi goes in that direction.
What if it does? There's no way to know.
You know what? There's no way to know. There's no way to know at all. The function of this school as an educational facility is very questionable. Our PE class is exceptionally disorganized. The only things we do together are the warm-ups at the start. The teacher isn't even there after that. All we do is play together.
No helping it. Everybody's a different age or gender.
All right, and we got exercise uniforms now.
The only rule was that we have to stay on school grounds while exercising.
It's so weird seeing all the characters have so many different outfits. We didn't get alternate outfits for some of the Umineko characters until like EP 2 or 3. Let's see. Yep. That's kind of what I expected.
Yep.
I like how they're all color coordinated still, though.
And you just know that it's Mion's relative's weird shop that she's like, don't worry about it. I've got a color coordinated set for each of you.
Don't worry about why I have access to so many of these in so many different sizes and styles.
Just let me dress you up.
Yeah, exactly. Just come on. Just let it happen. All the little kids were gallivanting about. Well, they certainly were being active. Might be getting plenty of exercise, but... Ugh, the Board of Education probably completely forgot about this school, huh? Thanks, Ryukishi.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Gremlin alert.
All right. See the updated sprites? Yeah. That's, again, kind of what I expected.
Yep.
Her eyes being that red and menacing comes across very differently in the updated sprites.
Yeah.
Because here it just looks like, oh, she's got pink irises, right? And it's like, oh, it's just a different color, like Rika's are purple or whatever. In the updated sprites, it's clear that there's supposed to be something like an aura to them.
Yeah.
Right? Or am I reading that wrong?
I don't know.
It's not an I don't know question. It's like, that's just the visual language of the design. Everyone else's eyes just have like bold colors but look normal, and hers have this red haze on top of them. What are you... So unhelpful.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Wait, I think we swapped.
Oh.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
We're all together now. What shall we do today for PE?
All right. We have all of our members gathered now.
Now then, class representative, what shall we do for PE today? What shall we do?
Mion harumphed and crossed her arms haughtily, surveying the area.
Explosive power and endurance. There are no friends in the world of sports. Everyone is a rival. The only thing you can trust in is your own body.
What the heck do you mean by that? You really read too much manga, you know. I quipped without missing a beat. I do have a feeling like there is some very intentional not parody, but like leaning on sports manga and anime here. I've never really had any interest in sports manga and anime, so like a lot of those parallels are just going to go right over my head. But as you pointed out, I'm sure that's a factor here.
And so, we'll be taking a lesson from history, the tried and true king of all outdoor melee events. Let's play tag!
The Let's Plays, those haven't been invented yet. It was quite the adorable choice to make after playing it up so much.
Just what I was hoping for. That dunderhead Keiichi-san will be the first one to be it.
I won't be beaten.
Why
I'll try my best too. You can't beat me.
are you guys all so into this?
The third rule of our society. You must partake in the game, enjoying it without question.
Okay, so, Mion, I know that you're just trying to hype up these girls and all. I just want you to know that there's a lot of overlap between the way that your rules of your society have worked out and a literal cult.
Yeah, convenient, right?
Like, the way a cult engenders people to participate in its activities without questioning in it, but still with maximal enthusiasm.
A girl's gotta have a dream for what to do after high school.
You know what? I guess that's fair.
These are important life skills.
But do we have to have the robes and... Is that a blood stain? Oh, then this counts as a club activity? Everyone smirked at each other. They all seemed pretty confident. I'm a man. Yes, I am. Physically, I should be able to keep up with any girls my own age. Regardless, Mion and Sadako looked like they were aiming for victory, and Reina was looking at me as if pitying my disadvantage. Fine. Tag. I'm in. My yell echoed across the school grounds. These were the rules. Anyone who was able to evade being tagged before the bell was a winner. But we didn't switch who was it. The ones who were tagged by it also became it. So the number of people who were it could increase exponentially. The endgame would become a hellish siege. But what's the play area? Like, if you can just go hide in, like, the janitor's closet for an hour, what's the point?
And exactly, what is the play area? Play area? Rules? What?
When you start a game, they're supposed to enter the circle, like the magic circle that says in here rules apply and out there rules don't. This is all about the theory of play. We know this.
They call the version we're playing here zombie tag, you see?
I see. Anyone infected by a zombie turns into a zombie. Glad to know that terminology survived the ages.
Why do you make it sound so scary, I wonder? I wonder.
That did both. That time they did it both ways.
Yeah.
I guess. As soon as I can catch Reina, I'm going to tear out her entrails while she's still alive.
Gross. Keiichi-kun, that's gross.
Rika-chan placed her hand on Reina's head as she panicked.
Don't worry. Before Keiichi gobbles you down, I'll eat you up gently.
What? Rika, that isn't comforting at all.
Both Mion and I nodded deeply. So the first it. Then you decide who's the zombie. With rock, paper, scissors?
Well, it is class time after all. Let's decide by answering questions. I'll ask the questions, and the one who isn't able to answer is the zombie.
I have no idea which grade level they're coming from.
What does the Japanese word roku mean?
An outdated streaming service.
6. Right?
Huh? I was bewildered by the sudden question. Mion repeated it.
So you need to answer, what's roku in English?
It's 6.
Hey, I remembered something. How about kutsushita? Socks. What's the third last letter in the alphabet? It's X. What does seibetsu mean?
Of course I know what that is.
Sadako cut herself off before finishing the answer. I see, it's quite a lewd question.
You're an adult, aren't you? Of course you know what it is, right?
What is it? I don't know what it is.
I have no idea.
And I'm too afraid to put it into Google.
certainly do. Of course I know.
Then go ahead and say it. That, you know? That. What does that mean, exactly? Sadako looks like she's in trouble. How cute.
Don't take her home, it's a crime. If I didn't nip it in the bud, she really might have tried to take her home. Mion's pursuit was relentless, making Sadako stammer.
Now then, go ahead and say it, nice and loudly. What does that mean?
I do know. I do.
That means a person, thing, idea, action, or event which has been previously indicated in context.
Huh? Ah.
All of us were a bit surprised by Rika-chan's unexpected answer. I see. Well, it is certainly what that means. That could have been awkward. I wonder what I would have done in Sadako's position. Probably get it ticked off and just blurt out you-know-what at the top of my lungs.
What the heck? We're about to find out. I'm gonna wreck my Google results. Seibetsu.
Yeah, alright.
Seibetsu.
Your time to ruin your Google results by searching for a Japanese word. I just did that last week trying to find an album of music by Boat. They're a great experimental rock band with an album called Listening Suicidaru. And I tried to find it, and Google's like, "Are you okay, buddy? Are you fine?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm fine. I just need to find experimental rock music, please."
Sex or gender?
Sex? Oh, sex in the sense of sex or gender.
I think so.
Okay. I wouldn't want you as my enemy, Mion Sonozaki. Thank goodness you were born a girl. If you were a boy, you'd probably be a perverted asshole. I'd know.
It appears I have no choice. Unfortunately, I, Sadako Ojo, shall assume the role of a zombie. I shall eat everyone!
Seems like she's raring to go.
All I must do is count to 100, correct?
Well, some jerks skip numbers while counting to 100. You can start chasing after you solve this problem.
Whoa, Keiichi-kun, give her a simple one, okay?
1/5 of a cake, 1/6 of a cake, and 1/7 of a cake are all on a plate.
Oh no! There are no common denominators?
Sadako grabbed a stick in a panic and began drawing a cake in fractions on the ground. If Sadako, who can eat one cake in 60 seconds, eats all of them, how many cakes are left on the plate? Just as I finished giving the word problem, Mion shouted.
Ready, go!
That's really mean.
Yeah.
It's why, my Latin teacher, especially in high school, tried to encourage all of us, read the goddamn question before you start answering things. Read through the whole test before you start putting answers down.
Yeah.
Just take a hot second. On Mion's signal, everyone but Sadako scattered.
Keiichi-kun, that wasn't a problem at all, was it?
Sadako had already lost the moment she started working it out. She's eating it all, so of course there's nothing left on the plate. Everyone dashed off in a direction they thought was best. Knowing the lay of the land, they probably headed right to the best spots. It was obvious I was at a disadvantage. At a time like this, it would have been more effective to go along with those trained in survival skills, like Mion, for example. The fact that I didn't realize at the start of the game probably hurt my chances. Glancing back over the school grounds, I saw Sadako just rising up to start. She was really, really mad. She got tripped up on such a dumb question. Playing with my my plushie that hangs off my mic stand. I stood at one of the corners of the school. I had clear sightlines in two directions. I would probably have a good response time if any zombies started closing in. Did you also play tag at your school playground when you were growing up, middle school? We did too. My middle school was blessed to have a playground that had it was pretty, there was a lot of equipment and stuff on it. Our favorite variant was to play Don't Touch the Ground tag, because there was enough equipment off the ground and within reach of each other that you could go the entire time and do whole loops and not run into anyone. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
There were also cool strats. Like two of them, parts of it were connected by like this big gap, and there was only like a couple of sliding bars to get between them. So if you held the sliding bars at one side, you could prevent people from crossing over to the other half, unless they were good enough to climb on top of the sliding bars thing itself, which is what the older kids were doing. And you know, there were some pretty impressive strats.
I feel like tag and playground stuff was great after coming up north. When I was in Texas in grade school, unfortunately, the playground entertainment of choice was threatened to break me and my best friend's fingers for being freaks. So I didn't miss that playground game.
Fair enough. I was definitely... I definitely was not great in middle school. In the more sense, like I had a like a year-long bully phase. Not proud of it. I did have a phase where I was a bully for a bit, and then I had a phase where I was a cop. One of those, one of those like school. You know how the school? I don't know if your school had this. Our school would like deputize kids to like enforce rules on the playground and stuff. And you know, being the goody two shoes I was at the time, I was like, oh yeah, I get to be a cop. I grew out of it. Don't hold it against me, please. But this got me thinking about like it just threw me back to like, oh, gotta remember where the sight lines are. Gotta remember where the best spot to hide is.
Yep.
So it allows for maximum movement between areas. For the time being, I caught my breath and focused on what I was trained to think during club activities yesterday. Now think calmly, Keiichi Maebara. If I was it, what would I do? Increasing my numbers would be the shortcut to victory. Then going after the weakest player first is the obvious plan of attack, meaning me.
Now then, where could Keiichi-san possibly be? I shan't let you escape.
But of course, what would be the best method to track me down? Footprints or smell? Or maybe some type of trail? If I could craftily hide my tracks, there'd be no trail for Sadako to follow. But I was no detective. Would I even be able to do that kind of thing in an amateur game like this?
Tomita Okamura, have you seen Keiichi-san recently?
What the heck? Do zombies hunt their prey by asking nicely where they went? Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun pointed to the location where I was hiding. After confirming she was headed this direction, I abandoned my position. Wow, dick move.
He's like, oh, how can I hide my footsteps? How can I find, like, how can I make it so no detective can uncover where I went? And he just walked past other people and Sadako just asks them. Didn't think about the most obvious thing.
Hey, kids, all of our young kids under the age of 14 watching this Let's Play, as I'm sure we have numerous. If you're playing tag on the playground, don't be a cop. All right? Or rather, if people around you are playing tag and you see someone else hiding, don't give it away. Come on. What do you... Yeah. You learned the lesson before I did, okay? It wasn't easy to hide myself with all those little kids running around as they pleased. It's becoming even more obvious that I was at a disadvantage for not being familiar with these surroundings. If that's how it was going to be, then to confront this intelligence-gathering zombie, I just counter it in a similar vein. I approached some girls playing with a ball. I'm sorry, but could you relay this message? Tell Sadako Hojo that her parents are at the gate, please.
Message? Okay.
I stopped the girls as they turned to run off. Wait, don't go yet. I'll take this one to Mio and Sonozaki. Tell her the teacher is calling her to the gate. I'm quite the schemer if I do say so myself. If things went well, then Sadako and Mio would run into each other at the gate. It would put me at a disadvantage if more people were it. But this was Mio we were talking about. She'd figure out a way to escape. But that was just fine, as long as it bought me more time. Haha, dance for me, Mio and Sadako. In the palm of my hand. With my fill of playing the con man, I looked for a place to hide. If you think about it logically, I'd only bought myself a scant amount of time. Might even come back to bite me. Once it became apparent I'd started spreading false information through messengers, I could end up being the recipient of one of those messages. Sadako would probably ask the messengers to help her look for me. That would mean there would be more zombies than participants in the game. A virus that was brought about by my mischief could cause an epidemic. All my classmates would transform into zombies and would only be searching for me. This tactic might backfire horribly. While trembling at the thought of the impending dawn of the dead, I began searching for a safe house. Oh, that is a contemporary. Yeah, Dawn of the Dead, the original one, right? Yeah. I found a shed by the incinerator behind the school. After climbing up the roof, I held my breath. It wasn't a bad place to hold out. Not only did I have a good line of sight, but if necessary, I could jump off in 3 different directions to escape. It was getting rowdy down there. The lower grades were running around below the shed.
Maebara-san isn't around. Is he over there?
Nope. Where's Keiichi-san, I wonder? His dad is at the front gate.
That was definitely a lie. The word gate, the same one I'd used, gave a hint of revenge. So Mion was behind this. I was still keeping 1 step ahead of the game. I felt bad for my underclassmen, but they'd have to search until the school bell.
Hey, do you know where Keiichi-san is at? His mom suddenly got really sick.
A message for Maebara-san. They said his house caught fire and he needs to come to the gate.
Jumbo jet fell on top of the Maebara residence.
The police have come to question him.
Anything goes now, huh? Is this an object lesson in how rumors spread? Is that what this is meant to be?
Maybe.
Like, are we supposed to learn? Are we supposed to be taking from this like oh, this is how one story can easily turn into another, and how you shouldn't take what is like the last version of it you hear at face value?
Could be.
Wow.
They say he enjoys peeping into bathrooms.
Is it true that he's going around every night stealing panties?
What are they talking about?
I heard he wears panties on his head and smells them and stuff.
No way I would do that.
I heard that class representative Mion was a victim too.
What? Ugh, this was your doing, Mion! Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. This is Mion's battle tactic to flush me out. Just hold on. If my underclassmen thought about it logically, they would know this is all nonsense. But small kids don't think about things logically. Small kids don't think about things logically. To them, all of those things were true. So they all chuckled together while looking for me. I win, Mion. It's my victory. Wiping unrelenting tears away, I felt intoxicated by my own victory.
Did you hear? I heard that the new transfer student Maebara-san is a really perverted person.
The cost of beating Mion had too high a price. Oh, someone passed below. That's Reina and Rika-chan.
Rika-chan, you're still okay? I'm getting by somehow. It seems Mi-chan is it as well.
Mion? It couldn't be. She'd become it because of my little strategy? It's confirmed that Mion was behind this relentless message war. Unless Mion was getting these two to deliver the message. I don't know what level of... Then this wasn't good at all.
We finally got away from Mi-chan, but Sadoko-chan, Sadoko is searching around the pipes, so we should be safe here for a while.
Upon hearing that, I breathed a sigh of relief. While Reina was slumped on the ground breathing heavily, Rika-chan had started creeping up to her. Rika-chan doesn't normally make noise when she walks, but it's strange. It couldn't be.
Whoa, Rika-chan, what is it? Don't worry.
I had never seen Rika-chan smile so creepily before.
Why are you coming closer? Why? Rika-chan isn't a zombie, is she? Don't be scared. I'll be sure to eat you gently. No way. Rika-chan, no.
Reina was pressed against the wall, and Rika-chan lurched forward with both arms out, just like a zombie. Reina quaked with her back pushed up against the wall. It was quite a surreal scene of horror. One that I will definitely fall for. Like one of those zombie breakout videos you'd see. At that moment, Reina's eyes met mine.
Keiichi-kun, save me.
Zombie Rika-chan turned 180 degrees exorcist style and glared at me.
Found him. I see Kei-chan.
Mion popped out from behind the cinder block wall and around the garbage dump, also seeing where I was. My position was only advantageous when there was one zombie. Being surrounded was not good.
You said you located Keiichi-san?
I could tell that Sadako was rushing my way. It seemed Rika-chan had let Reina escape, and now she was baring her fangs in my direction.
Grr. Arg.
Happy zombie Rika is very good.
Come on down, Keiichi-chan.
No, they should call it Kei-chan.
Kei-chan.
The three zombies circled the shed, moaning curses. You guys are scary, too scary. I just want it.
I wonder how Keiichi-san's guts taste. Keiichi-san!
Keiichi, I want you to become one of us.
Someone please save me! I saw Reina apologizing to me from across the schoolyard. An apology. Sorry. Leaving me for dead. Reina! I leapt off the roof out of fear, slipping as I landed. Sadako and Rika jumped on top of me, and after straddling me, they tickled me all over my body. Oh, stop! Wait, why did you abandon your position? They clearly couldn't. I guess Mion could have after a while, but.
So this means Reina is still left. There isn't much time until the bell.
Damn you, Reina! How dare you leave me for dead? The feelings of a zombie. I understood how vengeful ghosts with lingering regrets felt.
It's sad, so sad, but Keiichi is one of us now.
I felt like I'd been bitten by a vampire and was now one of their thralls. It was a strange feeling, being welcomed over to the side that had pursued me. Zombie tag is quite profound.
This is no time to postulate. We must capture Reina.
The principal is walking down the hall. The bell will ring soon.
Here's how you do it. You say like, Reina, hey, Reina, you missed the bell. Lunch is over. We gotta go.
And then tag once everyone. Oh, wait. No. 'Cause the bell. Okay, yeah. Your way, yeah.
Yeah, because the bell rings, the game's over. But if you be like, hey, you missed it. Come on, we gotta go get inside. Hurry up.
It's like.
Yeah, that's how you do it. To devour Reina, I, who had been turned into a demon of vengeance, needed to use any means necessary. Except I wasn't just a zombie. I was a master of the night. A vampire. Using the same trick that had tightened the noose around my own neck, I used my classmates to further my evil aims. I gather up the lower grades from around the school grounds. Everyone listen! Reina's in big trouble. All of you, please look for her.
Yeah, it's a bigger problem than a jumbo jet crashing into your family's house.
Oh yeah, it had turned into that, hadn't it? Mion whistled nonchalantly, trying to avoid the blame. Yeah, it's not even in the same league as jumbo jets. What fell on Reina's house was a space colony. Space tourism. It's gonna be big, everyone.
A space colony?
Yeah, it's a really big disaster. Everything in a 100-kilometer radius was obliterated. But that's only the prelude to this tragic tale. This is the beginning. The start of a war for independence by the propagandapality of Zeon. The lower grades were dumbfounded, their eyes like saucers at the grand turn of events.
What will happen? Will the Terran Federation lose?
If things go on like this, they will. Only one person can defeat the Red Comet, and that person is Reina Ryugu. The lower grade students all gulped. Seems I made them fully understand the fight for Earth was lost without her. Now scatter, comrades! We must find her! My comrades in the lower grades let out an enthusiastic cheer and dashed off in various directions around the school grounds. Huh? There was still one person who hadn't gone.
But I thought even the Terran Federation's impulse wave diffusal cannon didn't work on the Comet Empire.
You're close. That's the white variety of those comets. The reason it didn't work was because they didn't know the weak point. Of course, Reina knows their weak point all too well.
Ryugu-san is amazing.
Is this some Gundam shit?
Absolutely.
Is that what
yes.
this is? Okay.
Yes, this is the Gundam colony drop.
This
shit.
is the okay. This is okay. I only started watching Gundam. What was it? War in the Pocket. You had me watch.
Yeah, and then you watched.
I've seen the first half of Witch of Mercury. Haven't gotten to the second half yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool stuff. But obviously I don't. Oh, on Birdie Wing, my favorite Gundam anime. Satisfied with that, he also rushed off to look for Reina. It does seem like there are some promising up-and-comers among the youngsters. This is Mion.
Little Kei-chan's abilities. This old man knows them better now.
It didn't really feel like she was complimenting me, but whatever.
Really, though, how exceptional, Keiichi-san. This looks quite promising.
If we have this many, we can win. With this many, we will win.
Yeah, like this really feels like a mirror of the dynamic around the dam, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Right? Okay, just making sure.
I was thinking that Keiichi would have been a better nominee for the initial zombie.
Rika-chan's words stung a bit, but I'd let it slide for now. Not even Reina would be able to escape the entire class. And as a result of everyone's thorough search, Reina was finally cornered in the back of the sports equipment shed.
You're all scary. Keiichi-kun too. So scary.
It probably was scary being chased around by the entire student body. All the lower grades closed in on Reina, saying she was the only one who could save the world.
What are you all saying? I can't control a mech.
Reina, how could you leave me for dead? Are you ready to pay for it?
I'm sorry about that, Keiichi-kun, but I didn't have a choice.
Do not resist. Let yourself be devoured.
I mean, that's one way to get rid of an arm.
Let's all be together. Now, Reina, say your prayers.
Reina had stumbled onto a mat, trembling with tears in her eyes. I closed in. Associating the situation with a similar, particularly immoral one made my pulse quicken just a little bit. Sadako and Rika-chan were both wriggling their fingers. They probably wanted to tickle Reina. Reina, wanting no part of what she knew was about to happen, went stiff with fear.
Keiichi-kun, you wouldn't do mean things like everyone else, would you? Would you?
Them's the rules of the club, babe. I wonder. Now then, are you ready?
Okay, so long as it's Keiichi-kun.
The face she made as she resigned herself to her fate made my heart skip a beat.
I believe that Keiichi-kun won't do horrible things to me.
Body won't move. That had to be some sort of anti-zombie mantra. The second my sense of reason chimed in, the beast inside me died instantly. It was the bell. Game over.
Yay! I did it! I survived! Yay! Yay!
Reina pranced around merrily as if a curse had been broken. So daylight broke in the nick of time. An evil zombie army disintegrated into dust. And so the heroine survived. That's how it goes in the movies anyway.
What are you postulating about? This is all because Keiichi-san was dawdling about.
Punishment is required.
What the fuck are you talking about? Are you kidding me? I had the most effective strategy here. I was subdued by Sadako and Rika-chan and once again sentenced to death by 100 tickles. Forgive me.
And then the award for surviving goes to Reina Ryugu and Mion Sonozaki. Yay!
Dick move.
Huh? Mi-chan wasn't a zombie. Only pretended to be one. They say you need to deceive your allies before you can deceive the enemy, you know?
Ugh, Mion, you little.
Yeah. Hurry up and change, alright? Don't be late for the next class.
Let go of me, Sadako. Rika-chan! Ah! Having had my fill of being terrified to my very core by my club activities, I solemnly swore I would have Mion crying for mercy next time. Wow, dick move. Dick move. Maybe not a dick move, but like, you know, got one up on you. We got more tips? We get more tips?
Seems like
Not for
yet.
this one. Okay.
School days coming to a close.
School's out. After arriving home, I quickly made preparations to head out once again. I had agreed to meet with Reina to dig Colonel Sanders out from that mountain of treasure from before. Hey, Mom, do we have work gloves?
Hey!
I need towels, too. See, that's a smart person right there
Yeah.
who knows they're about to go dig around in trash.
Yep. Aren't they in the shed out back? The towels are by the sink.
All right. Now I was all ready. Looking at me, my mom stared quizzically.
What's going on, Keiichi? Where are you headed to in that getup?
If they come to dump again illegally, he'll be buried completely, and it'll be impossible to dig him out. And if that happens, Reina will undoubtedly go after the Colonel Sanders in front of the fried chicken place in town. A bit of excavating, so my classmate doesn't become a criminal.
Well, don't be out too late.
Mom returned to the kitchen with a puzzled expression still on her face. There we go. Cutting through the woods as a shortcut to the dam site. I skipped ahead before reading my line. Hello there, Tomataki. I ran into someone. It was Tomataki-san, probably taking pictures of wild birds again with that precious camera of his. It couldn't be that all he took pictures of was handsome young men in the twilight.
Hey, long time no see. Keiichi-kun, right?
My due regards. I expelled the rude imagery from my head and greeted him without inciting anything.
By the way, was that girl an acquaintance of yours?
He was probably talking about Reina, guessing by the way Tomataki-san was shaken up. What was that all about? She was walking around with an axe. And she was laughing with a huge smile across her face. Oh.
No, what was that all about? She was walking around with an axe, and she was laughing with a huge smile across her face.
Okay, yeah. That was Reina, without a doubt. It was probably because she could take it home today, so she couldn't hide her excitement.
I hid myself because I thought it might be dangerous. Should I call the cops to be safe?
Well, it certainly would be quite the spectacle for a girl of her age to be roaming around with an axe. Tomatake-san's reaction was the epitome of logical. It's fine, just leave her be. She's just wandering around looking for more victims is all. Tomatake-san was alarmed by my crass response. Well, it's probably hard for normal people to understand, Reina. I'll just toss a bunch of BS out there. If you were to be killed out here, she'd probably be the one to do it. Let's try not to snoop around too much around here, eh? With a condescending smirk, I started off in the direction of the dam site where Reina was waiting. Before I got too far, Tomataki-san abruptly called out to me.
Keiichi-kun, is that meant to be a warning for an outsider like me?
I didn't mean that seriously. I did try to make it obvious, but...
I'll try my best to be careful.
Okay, so that whole inside-outside dynamic definitely exists, and we know why it was fostered. Okay. Leaving only those words behind, Tomatake-san turned around and left. Didn't really mean to call him an outsider. I wasn't really implying anything when I said that. It only meant to be a joke, but I felt like I'd said something bad. Yes, because clearly establishing an in-group and an out-group always leads to good results. Especially when it's based around where you live. Historically, no problems there.
Keiichi-kun, I was waiting for you. Let's try our best today.
I understood what Tomatake-san was trying to say. Somebody gallivanting about while waving an axe around certainly would seem dangerous. You should cover the axe with something when you have it in public, you know. It's not good to carry it around in the open like that.
Seems that I lost it, so there isn't one.
What? Thinking about it, there really was no need to try to keep up appearances. Everyone in Hinamizawa probably already knew about Reina's eccentricities. She's probably the only person who would carry an axe around Hinamizawa and not be considered suspicious. Oh well, let's finish this today. We bust through that last beam, we should be able to pull him out. I've got everything I need. Leave it to me.
Okay.
Wait, I misunderstood a line there. Seems that I lost it, so there isn't one. What?
Yeah, I don't know what that sentence is supposed to mean either.
I took it to mean like
the axe was lost, but clearly it's not.
Cover the axe with something when you have it in public. It's not good to carry it around in the open like that.
Maybe it was meant to be she had something to cover it but lost it or something.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, it's probably just a
translation confusion.
Yeah. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I took the axe from Reina and made my way up the unstable slope. Because before she confirmed she had the axe, I was like, wait, she doesn't have the axe? Then who did Tomasaki-san see? Then what?
Just wait, Colonel Sanders. Keiichi-kun will save you.
All right, get back. Get back to where you once belonged. I'll finish this in one go. That's a contemporary song. A solid thwack rang out through Hinamizawa, as if the job was being done by a lumberjack.
How is it? Think you can do it? If it looks too hard, you don't have to strain yourself.
If I can break through this, then we'll be good. I have plenty of power today. I can do it. This adversary was more formidable than I had expected. First of all, I'd never used an axe before. During a school camping trip, I'd wanted to split the wood, but I lost at rock, paper, scissors and wasn't able to do it. Because the spot where I was standing was so unstable, I soon became tired. I decided to take a break. Reina had already spread out a tarp and laid down some tea and sweets. I'm fine. I'm almost there. I'll make sure Reina can give Colonel Sanders a goodnight kiss tonight.
Yeah, thanks. Giving Colonel Sanders a goodnight kiss. Ah.
Come to think of it, Reina, you're a transfer student too, right? Where'd you live before? I asked her nonchalantly while drinking tea. Thought she had lived here all her life.
In Kanto, it wasn't as rural as it is out here, but it was still out in the countryside.
Okay, so she wasn't lying about not having been here a year ago.
Yep.
But still, do we know when the damn thing was in relation to... It just says in the past, right? And we haven't gotten a firm date yet.
I think we were told it was a couple years ago.
A couple years ago.
It might have been in the newspaper tip.
Right, because we know the date this is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But it was greater than a year.
Yeah.
Okay. I should have paid more attention to that. That's on me. Okay, so she wasn't here when that happened, but she must have... Something else must have been going on. I don't know, man. Why'd you move here? To Hinamizawa, I mean. You know, this place is pretty far out in the boonies.
Why did you move out here? Did it have to do with your dad's work?
Well, Dad said he wanted to move out to a studio. He'd been saying for a while there's somewhere deep in the mountains like this would be perfect.
Studio? Is your father an artist or something?
Right, so they picked the building because it was a big building. And right, okay, so that resolves that little bit of logic. He paints scenery. Seems that twice a year he opens a gallery for the stuff he does. When he started, his works were displayed in an industry plaza in Tokyo, but now they're exhibited in the Makuhari Mess. I don't know what that is. He's determined to have them displayed in the Waterfront International Exhibition Hall. Okay, so he does do fine art.
Yeah.
Stuff. Okay.
That's amazing. Let me see them next time.
I was too embarrassed to tell her that I didn't really know what kind of pictures my father painted. Well, eventually I would. I picked myself up while giving some vague answers. What do you mean you don't know? You just said. Are we meant to... Was he lying in order to...
I figure it's just a thing like he hasn't
doesn't know
hung
the
out in the
specifics.
studio
Right.
and doesn't know
Okay.
art stuff.
Got it.
But you transferred in the middle of the semester, didn't you? Wasn't that a hassle?
Yeah, not really. I was getting bored of the city anyway. I was trying to get answers from Reina, but I ended up being the one giving out all the answers myself. With a bit of a wry smile on my face, I grabbed the handle of an axe and headed back to the work site.
Everyone's really good at that here in Hinamizawa, aren't they?
They are really good at that here.
You ask them a question and you come away having answered everything they want to know about you and none the wiser about what's going on.
The air grew colder as the sun slowly set. The Higurashi began their song, as if to tell me to stop and head home for the day. Just a bit more. Today I would end it. When I first started, I chatted with Reina as I worked, but now I didn't have that luxury. You little... Damn it! I'd swung the axe countless times today, just like this. Contact. Shards of wood splintered. The assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes. I recalled that passage from the tabloid. One hit with something like this would smash someone's head in. Axes and pickaxes are not meant to be swung at people. Ever. They reused that sound effect.
They did.
That was the one that had a... It sounds like it possibly could have a little liquid in it. With one last swing, the beam cracked apart. The weight I put behind the beam, the axe not only split through the beam, but smashed the statue's shoulder as well. The arm came off with a sickening sound. It clattered down noisily, stopping at my feet.
What's the matter? Are you hurt?
I'm sorry. The figure's arm. I broke it off.
Oh, that's all? I thought Keiichi-kun hurt himself.
I probably had a really guilty look on my face. Reina said that without a hint of dismay as she smiled.
We just need to tape it back on and put a coat over him. Nobody will even notice.
I see. Let's pull him out then. Can you get that side?
Okay.
Seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms, you see. I laughed dryly at how pathetic I was for considering the arm flopping down and rolling to my feet to be such a bad omen. Both Reina and Mio knew how sickening that incident was, so they pretended that they didn't know. I looked it up all by myself, and shamefully enough, I was scared. You're pathetic. You're pathetic, Keiichi Maebara. All right, Reina, let's do this in one go. Ready, and...
Whoa! We did it, Keiichi-kun. Yay!
The right time to give 3 cheers. That moment of 2 days of work began bearing fruit. He who was brought to Hinamizawa covered in filth to meet his end. Instead, we were able to welcome him back. You're pretty lucky, Colonel Sanders. Your new master is a pretty decent person.
Ah, Colonel Sanders. He really is cute.
If I ate meat, this would really be making me hankering for some fried chicken. Didn't matter that he was dirty. Raina nuzzled him cheerfully with her cheek. I was dead tired, but seeing Raina's happy face made it all worth it. I'll help you carry it back. It'll be bad if it gets dark.
Yeah, right. I really want to thank you, Keiichi-kun. I won't forget this.
Think real hard about what you'll do to repay me, all right?
Whoa, I wonder what kind of repayment. I wonder.
For now, I just hold back my evil cackle. My VA won't, though. We were ready to take it to her house, but we couldn't go like this. We rolled the statue up in the tarp and lifted him. And so Jack and Jill went down the hill, carrying a human-sized bag and an unsheathed axe. I prayed that we wouldn't run into Tomatake-san. If he saw us here and took a picture, well, we would need to get rid of him. Parenthesis, LOL, close parenthesis. God! Is that meant to be a warning for an outsider like me? Something struck me as odd about the words of Tomatake-san, unable to grasp my sense of humor I left behind.
Indeed.
It seems very on the nose so far.
Yeah?
Yeah. You receive new tips. What kind of name is Raina? Great question. Let's check out that tip.
Let's.
Do you know how many chapters there are in
I don't.
chapter 1 here? It's weird that chapter 1 has sub-chapters.
Reina's not here. Do you know where she is, Keiichi?
She was just there, actually. Hey, Mion. Where did Raina go?
Raina, didn't she go to the bathroom? She did say she's been having bowel troubles lately.
Oh, maybe she needs to eat more fiber. I hadn't heard anything about that. Statiko, do you know where Raina went?
Raina, you say? I just passed her in the hallway. Raina has class duties today, so she's off to water the flower bed.
Ah, it was Raina's turn for class duty. That's very much appreciated.
Raina. Upon hearing it repeated, a thought came to mind. It's rude to say this about someone's name, but it was a weird one. It's like some foreigner's name. What kind of name is Raina, I wonder? What kind of kanji does her name use?
Raina is her nickname. She has a proper name as well.
Wait, what, really? I was sure that Raina Ryugu was her full name.
Well, I can understand you making that mistake since we all only call her Rena.
She even signs her name as Raina. It's like her real name in school. I wonder what her real name is. Let's ask her when she comes back. Sadako and Rika-chan looked at each other.
It's rude to dead name someone, Keiichi.
You don't need to ask her. We'll tell you what it is.
It's the Rei from Ore and the Na from Nara. Her real name is Raina Ryugu.
Raina, is it? Huh. So it's read out as Rena instead of Raina? That's pretty interesting reading.
No, that's not it. Raina is the correct way.
Rena told us that she wanted us to call her Rena, so we'd call her Rena.
Is this another one of those things where, like, in English, the difference between the syllables isn't something that we have, but is more pronounced in Japanese?
Or in this case, that, like, we don't have the same vowel sounds, so this doesn't sound obvious to our ear.
Right. So, like, should we... again, back to the question. Should we be saying Rena?
Perhaps.
Or still Raina, but it's Raina with a different emphasis on it?
Perhaps.
Kind of like in when we were playing Steins Gate, the way Ferris... Mayuri calls her Ferris instead of Ferris.
Yeah.
Right? It's like... It doesn't sound different because of the way we kind of smush vowels in English.
Yep.
Okay.
Kei-chan, Reina is Reina, you know? Only strangers call her Reina. You get where this is going.
Rena is Rena, you know. That's what they say before they invariably have a character that's trans. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I understood what Mion was saying. It didn't matter what her real name was, only what names we used between us. Rena Ryugu is Rena. She's nobody other than that. So I was thinking, if I had a nickname, would you call me by that?
If it's good.
Fair enough.
Yes, we will call you by your chosen name and pronouns, as long as they're good ones.
As long
So, what do you want to be called?
So none of the stock standard stuff. Oh, con man. Rena then came back into the classroom. One of the juniors near the door told Rena people were looking for her.
What's this now? Who is looking for me, I wonder? I wonder.
Seeing that, both Mion and I sneered. Bailiff, Ryugu doth show herself.
Con man, you're quite sinister. Ha ha ha. What is this? What is this? Keiichi-kun and Michan are evil bailiffs. A con man?
Damn you, Renanosuke Ryugu. Today doth be when thou meetest thy maker. Have at thee.
Wah! Wah! Suke-san, Kaku-san, show them what for.
I feel like this is another reference.
Maybe.
Aye, aye, sir.
I expect my fee to be paid to my Swiss bank account.
Since it's come to this, we have no choice. We'll just have to have a grand battle with 5 people. Rena's fierce punches exploded in proper timing to take out the seal. The evil that was Mion and myself was vanquished in the end. Ugh. I do hope that Rena goes on a journey to make the world a better place. I'll be heading to Nagatacho.
My destination is decided by where the cute stuff gathers.
The toll of the bell signaled that break time was over.
Come on, Keiichi-kun, Michan. The teacher's coming.
I took Rena's hand and stood up. It was just as the teacher had entered the classroom. Just one more hour. Man, oh man. Gotta buckle down for one more.
The original version of this game came with a mini game where you had to dodge Reina's punches.
Oh, that's funny as hell. We'll have to see if we can find that, because that sounds great. That sounds great. Either way, I think this is the end of a sode.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I hope you're all having a good time. We got through, what, 4 chapters and 3 sodes so far?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not bad.
We're making some good progress here. I hope you are all having a great time. Please answer all of our questions in the comment section and know that we will not see them for several weeks afterwards. Thanks for coming, everyone. Bye.
Peace.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.